as America honors our heroes, one group is helping pay tribute to fallen soldiers and their families. The Honor Project began on Memorial Day last year after my next guest went viral for offering to visit graves in Arlington National Cemetery for those who couldn't be there at the height of the pandemic. Well, that spur-of-the-moment offer launched a movement, and today hundreds of volunteers will gather at Arlington National Cemetery, placing wooden flags on graves to honor thousands of veterans on behalf of their loved ones. Joining me now is the co-founder of the Honor Project, Emily Domenech, along with Gold Star sister of Captain Andrew Ross, Sarah Geisen. Welcome to both of you. So, Emily, this started for you last year. You planned on going for 30 minutes, right, to visit your grandfather's grave?
Yep, it's my grandfather, yes.
Yep, and then it turned into 6 hours. Tell us what happened.
So as I was turning into the cemetery, I realized that Memorial Day would look really different at Arlington this year because the friends of the fallen and the people who served with those who were killed in action would not be allowed into the cemetery. You were only allowed in with a family pass like me. So I sent out a tweet as I was turning into the cemetery, and I honestly thought of a few friends of mine who are veterans who I knew had people who were buried in Section 60, and I thought I'd get a handful of responses, and about 30 minutes later I had dozens of responses from all across the country, and I felt such an obligation to stay until I tried to visit every one, and I certainly didn't get to them all.
So you were like taking pictures and then sending them back to them? Is that what you were doing of their graves after you put the flags on?
So I would go and I didn't even have flags last year. I had a few flowers, and I would go and find the grave, and I'd take a photograph, and I'd reply to whoever requested it on Twitter, just with that picture and a note about their name. And I literally stayed in the cemetery until they closed it at the end of the day. But I will say I left so many requests unanswered that I knew I really needed to partner with somebody bigger to help me grow this event this year, and that's where the Travis Manion Foundation really came in.
That's right. Sarah, before we ask you about your experience there, please tell us a little bit about your brother, Captain Gold Star, Andrew Ross.
Absolutely. He's my favorite topic to talk about.
Absolutely.
My brother was the most charismatic person. He was the most outgoing. Leadership just came naturally to him. So at this point, I just feel completely obligated to carry on his legacy as best possible alongside my family and try to make the biggest difference that we possibly can in his honor.
So you had a similar idea to Emily's, right?
I did. It was very similar. It was spur of the moment last October. I was loading my kids up in the car to leave from Quantico to come up here to visit my brother, and I realized the same thing. A lot of people had a really difficult time getting here. They weren't able to get here over Memorial Day, and the closer that I approached the anniversary of my brother's passing, the feelings were just stronger and stronger, and I said, I'm headed to Arlington today. Can I visit anyone's loved one? And I think I had something close to 100 comments on my Facebook post within a private, a national group, but a private group nonetheless. Right. So again, like Emily, I was only able to visit a certain one.
And now that you've partnered up with the Travis Manion Foundation, tell me how things are different this year from your sort of impromptu visits the last time. Emily?
Yeah, so this year I worked with Ryan Manion, who founded the Travis Manion Foundation, to organize over 300 volunteers who came to the cemetery over the course of this weekend. And each one of our volunteers would take a name for a request for a visited grave. They'd go find that grave. They'd place a flag, a plaque. They'd take a photograph, and then they'd share that photograph on social media using the hashtag The Honor Project, because we really wanted to share that ability for the rest of America to really follow along while we visited and highlighted these graves. I think most Americans really want to take the opportunity to do the right thing on Memorial Day, and this is an opportunity not just for our volunteers, many of whom are Gold Star family members, just like Sarah, but also for just regular people on Twitter across the country to take a moment and read a few names of the fallen.
Yeah, it's not just the names, Emily. I follow you on Twitter, and I got sucked into following not just the names, but the families that posted the stories and the news articles associated with their loved ones. So it's a beautiful project that you're doing in a great way to remind Americans, those who can't make it to Arlington Cemetery and those who just want to remember them and honor their sacrifice. What you're doing is fantastic. So thank you both. Thank you both for your families and for the sacrifices that your families have made. And happy Memorial Day to both of you. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you so much.
All right. Coming